everybody? It's your girl Teaa back with another episode of the Tea with Teaa podcast. Listen, you all, we are still in the food and faith edition, but we are doing something a little bit different today. Today, we're kind of like in the living room because we're having leftovers. Does that make sense? Can I say that? Y'all, today I got my girl with me. I am super stoked for today's episode. The tea today is we are going to be talking about the impact of women. Happy Women's History Month, first of all. But today, I got a special treat for you. Y'all, can y'all say what's up to my girl, Lacreita Mitchell?
Hey, y'all. Hey.
What's up, Cree?
Hey, boo.
How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for allowing me to be here.
This is going to be good. Come on, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Ooh, crazy enough, I don't think I was ready for that question.
What?
How is that possible?
Okay.
Because I'm always on the other side of that.
Okay, so that's a thing to start with. You on the other side. Why?
Because I am the host of the Real Room with Lacreita Mitchell podcast. So I am a woman, a woman of God, somebody that desires to be the best version of myself, right? And then I'm a wife to an amazing man, my best friend.
Yes.
And I have 3 girls.
Yes.
So those are my little heartbeats. Like, they the reasons I do what I do and work as hard as I work.
Yeah.
I'm also a broker owner.
Yes, you are. Let
Ellum
the people know.
Yes, Ellum Realty firm. So yeah, I wear a lot of hats, but I say I do it really well.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, you're welcome for sure. So today we are talking about the impact of womanhood, right?
Yes.
We're in Women's History Month. We are women, so even outside of this month, the impact of women is really important. And I think we've had the opportunity to have great impact not only on people but because of people.
Yeah.
Women have had really great impact on us. So let's talk about that in collaboration. Can we talk about that today?
Yes. Come on.
All right, let's dive in. Okay, so we're talking about the ingredients of an impactful woman. Can we just maybe start with like what makes a woman impactful? And caveat, I think these, first of all, ingredients can make anyone impactful, but today we're talking about women. So let's do it. But yeah, what are some ingredients of an impactful woman that you would say?
Resilient, for sure. Somebody that's able to bounce back from some difficult situations, from some trials, from some tribulations, right? And do it in such a way that I feel like, and I'm going to speak for myself, brings honor to God.
Okay.
And so I always think about, when I think of resilience, I always think about Romans 8:28.
Okay.
Ooh, that's my favorite scripture,
That's a good
by the
one.
way.
That's my birthday, by the way.
Come on,
August 28th. So I feel like it's embedded in me.
Yes.
I'm so serious. Yeah.
Yes. And so when we think about that scripture, and all things work for the good of those that love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose, I just think about everything that the enemy tried to do to destroy me, to kill me, and the fact that it's all worked out for God's good. Like, come on, somebody. Like, that to me is something that a woman or just anybody would need to be just an impactful woman.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think some other ingredients, are grace. I would for sure say kindness.
Yes.
I also think the ability, which I think is probably resilience, but to bounce back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think as people, but as women, just over time and in our generation, you know, we deal with a lot.
Yeah.
We've dealt with a lot, whether it's, you know, in corporate America, within our families, even within ourselves.
For
you know what I
sure.
mean? And so being able to bounce back, like being able to look adversity in the face and say, you know what, you're not stopping me, you know? But even to say, okay, I planned on going about this route 2 + 2, but that didn't work. But I'm not going to stop.
Yeah.
I can get to 4 different ways.
Yep.
I can do 5 - 4. You know what I mean? Wait, 5 - 1. There we go.
Okay. I was just like, yeah.
I can do. You're just going to go with it. Like, You would have been great on the curve if you was a teacher.
I'm gonna give that baby
Hilarious.
some grace.
Right, exactly. But my point is, it's like there's multiple ways to get to the destination. You know what I mean? And so even that, like, I think an ingredient of an impactful woman is a woman who is a strategist in some way, different levels of it. But again, determined, like, we're going to get to this final destination. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned something of just, being able to, as women, we kind of deal with that internal thing, right? And there are some struggles that we have as women, right? That where there's insecurities that, we deal with, whatever. And so I think it's important to understand as women that, like you said, we go through a lot. We deal with a lot. We have to balance and juggle a lot of things.
Yeah.
But there are some internal things that can really play a part in us being able to be the best versions of ourselves, right?
For sure.
So we can have all the ingredients,
right?
right? But if there's that internal battle within yourself that's telling you you can't or you won't be, then that's a whole nother struggle within itself. And I think that cannot truly let you be able to taste the true flavor, you know what I'm saying, of that thing or of a woman.
Yep, that's so good. Like the moment you said like ingredients as far as them coming together, I thought about, you asked me who is Teaa, and I'm like, well, didn't even mention podcast,
right?
But I love to cook, right? Absolutely love to cook. And people often ask me, like, what's your favorite dish to cook? And I'm like, I really love to cook any and everything. For me, it's less about what I'm cooking, but the intricacy of it. Like, I love things that might take me an hour or two. Now, I love a quick meal, but the reason why is because it's the process of it. I enjoy the process. I enjoy learning. I enjoy, this may sound strange, but in the cooking process, making a mistake, like, because here I am, I'm determined. I'm like, why did that happen? How do we fix that? How does that not happen again? And so I think about that when you talk about like the internal and the process and the ingredients. It's like, we can have all of these ingredients for the cake, but you have to know the order. You have to know what to do with them. You have to know for a cake room temperature. You know what I mean? Eggs, butter, milk, they actually all need to be room temperature before you put them in for a very moist cake. There's so many different things, right? Intricacies. And I think about that with the ingredients of women. You're right. We can have all the ingredients, but you have to know when to use them. So that reminds me of another word. I think the word meek. Right? Because the word meek is strength under control, which means I'm a woman who has strength, but I know when to use it. Same thing with grace. Because we can think about a word that's a good word, if you will, and think, oh, this should be all the time. And grace, I do think that. So, but my point is, even good things overly used can become bad things. And that's the same thing when it comes to, ingredients. You got to know when.
First of all, I did not know that the egg and the flour or whatever you said
the
has
milk,
to be,
it should be. It's helpful. So again, do it. It's a game changer. I'm gonna give you some tidbits real quick. So like ground coffee, or you can use like instant coffee. Just make a little bit, but a little bit of coffee adds depth of flavor to chocolate. So chocolate cake, chocolate muffins, chocolate cookies, nutmeg, ground nutmeg, fresh nutmeg, or it can be from the container, but it does the same thing for like a white sauce, like a bechamel or Alfredo. Mustard does the same thing for like a cheese sauce, like macaroni. So sometimes in a recipe, you'll see them say add a little bit of ground mustard or, dried mustard. Like these are the elements that this is so good. You don't know they're in there, yet when they are, you're like, there is something about this. And I think that's true for women. Sometimes you don't know her journey. You don't know her story. You don't know why she's impactful, but you're like, there's something about her.
Yeah, it's just something about her. No, I see that. Like even with you, right? And I'm sure you heard all the time, but there has always been something about Teaa for me, right? It's just the way that you carry yourself. Now let me give a little context. We have a lot of mutual friends.
Yes, we do.
Right? And so I can't say that me and Teaa talk every day. We have all these, conversations on a daily basis. But one thing I know about you is if I need somebody to pray for me, I can call Teaa.
For sure.
If I need somebody to get straight to Jesus, okay? I know I can call Teaa.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's who you are to me. But I'm going to be honest with you. As I was driving here, I was like, what have I been to Teaa? And I think for many women, I'm going somewhere with this. It can seem like a imbalanced relationship. Is that the word? Imbalance?
It is today.
Okay. Yeah, work with me. Okay.
It is today.
I feel like it can kind of be a one-sided thing at times. And then there's seasons as well, right? And so my question is, what have I been to you?
Yeah.
Like we having a real conversation.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Okay.
So this is so good. Before I answer that, and I'm going to honor the question and answer, can I debunk what to me is a myth? Doesn't have to be to any and everyone else, but to me, this word balance, I think we put ourselves in a bind when we seek balance, because literally balance means equal. It's equality, right?
Yeah.
It means that the two things on this scale are the same.
Right.
But they're not.
Yeah.
Life, right?
Yeah.
So what I think for me is best is, Lord, what's my rhythm, right? What's the rhythm of this relationship? What's the rhythm of this season for my life? What's the rhythm of my health journey? I don't know. Like, what's my rhythm? Because if I'm saying, man, this friendship should be balanced, it means we're doing the same thing all the same all the time. That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not even a healthy expectation. Same thing in marriage. You're married with children. You love your husband. It's God then him, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But let your daughter be sick today. Day night is canceled.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That doesn't mean you have an unhealthy marriage.
Yeah.
It means you have one that has a good rhythm, because it says we keep the main thing the main thing. And the health of our family is where we're at today. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
so I want to say
good.
that before I go into this answer, because
Yeah.
I don't even seek balance in friendships. Because again, it means we're doing the same thing. And personally, I had to go on this journey. It was about 2014. I see things in pictures, so that's how I can remember this.
Yeah.
I remember where I was sitting and all the things, and I was having a conversation with George, my cousin, and we were just talking about how we show up as friends. I promise you I'm coming to this answer, but we were talking about how we show up as friends and how sometimes it's like, man, I'm always the this, the that, the caller, the checker on, and the Lord began working on both of us about, hey, but that's who I've called you to show up as. And so really the issue is not the friend on the other side or the person. One, the issue is expectation that you've not submitted to me and checked with me on. Two, the issue is you're expecting something for someone they're not supposed to do. So here we are back to expectation, right? And so it's like, oh, wait, and then we got to be sure that we're putting friendships, acquaintanceships, all the ships, got to say that slowly, in its proper place. Sometimes you're expecting an acquaintance to act like a best friend.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're wanting, your sister in Christ to not hold you accountable, and you want her to kind of deal with you the way a coworker would.
Right.
Well, no, she knows you deeper. So she needs to be the one to say, don't do that ever again. Great job, sis. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So with all of that being said, Cree, in my life, you've added value, because I get to watch you from afar. We have absolutely our moments right now. We do talk. We don't want the folk thinking we don't talk at all, But you've impacted me because I've watched you be a word you've used, a resilient woman. I've watched you face adversity and still do it. I've watched you set your mind to a goal, whether it has to do with your parenting, your marriage, your businesses. Come on. With how you carry people and family. I've watched you do this resiliently and with grace. That's how you've impacted me in our friendship. You've been a sounding board for me. You've been a place where I can come and be safe, right? Again, we're multifaceted. And so a lot of people see me in one or a few different spaces.
Right.
Very few people get to see me in all the spaces. And that's okay. That's how it should be. But you are a space where I can come and just be and let my hair down.
Yeah.
I can say something and not be afraid that she's going to be like, oh, she must not be a real woman of God. Because she just said, like, you know what I mean? Whatever. So you've been that for me. That's what you've provided. And I think, to round this out, you've been those things when I needed them. I don't need them every day, all 24/7.
Right.
But when I've needed them, let's keep it a buck. When I called you 2 days ago, I said, hey, sister moment.
Yeah.
And I said what I needed to say, and we moved on. That's important for Teaa.
Yeah.
And so I think that's something as well as a woman of impact. You've been that, and thinking of women in general, we have to know what our needs, wants, and desires are. So that we can effectively communicate them. But that's who Cree has been to Teaa.
Thank you, boo.
Yeah.
Thank you,
a
boo.
great example.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, no, that's good because, and I'm glad you brought up balance.
Yeah.
It's crazy because my cousin Renilda, she was just talking about this on her Instagram the other day.
Yeah.
And she talked about it not worrying about the balance.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm glad that you brought that up because I think many of us, especially women, we feel like we gotta
juggle it all
and balance it all. And at the end of the day, in that season, God may be calling you to do something different. And you
Yes.
got to be okay with being
Yes.
multifaceted
Yes.
and
Flexible.
yes,
Yes.
flexible and versatile
Mhm.
in those moments. And so you
100%.
may be called to be something totally different in
Yep.
that moment.
Yep.
And that's even just with friendships.
Yes. So
Right?
good. And it doesn't discount the previous season, if you will.
Right.
Back in October, I was putting on an event,
Mhm.
and I had through my job, the corporate job that I had,
Okay.
and we were planning, and like hit after hit kept coming.
Mm.
Specifically, we were booking artists, and artist after artist, either they were way above the budget, which wasn't. I'm like, now that ain't y'all normal price, but we ain't, not today, okay?
Yeah.
But whatever. But they were either way above budget, they weren't available, or someone was like, yep, we're available, and they were within budget. We got them there. They're like, oh my gosh, we checked this calendar, but not that calendar.
Wow.
Not available. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Kept happening, right? Like within 3 days, we probably went through like 7 artists.
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, this ain't normal.
Mhm.
So I went to my closet,
Mhm.
my prayer closet.
Mhm.
I said, this is not normal. I said, this something is going on. And I remember Holy Spirit saying to me that he wanted me to pivot. And so he gave me the idea to do something that we've never done before,
Mm.
which turned out to be absolutely amazing. But he said this in all of that, there's a plan for the pivot. And I think about that when you said about having to be flexible. There's a plan for the pivot. And if we choose to embrace the plan for the pivot, I think another ingredient of an impactful woman is a woman who knows how to weave and, what's this called? Whatever. Her way through. Bob and weave,
Bob
baby.
and weave. Yeah, we're going to go with Bob and weave.
I know. This.
Bob and weave.
Yeah, but knows how to bob and weave her way through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, I'm not talking about in an unhealthy way. I'm not saying not taking time. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Really quickly, another ingredient of an impactful woman is a woman who knows how to rest and when to rest. Because I think as women, you said it earlier, we're trying to do all the things all the time. But here's the deal. In the Bible, the word says in Genesis, it says that after God created, it says he rested. So he modeled rest for us, which tells me rest is holy. And this is for everybody. Let's look at this camera. Okay? Y'all got to be resting. Resting is holy. Okay? But it is, right? We have to take time to rest. Rest our minds. Rest from work. And it could be a journey for some. I'm not saying it's this immediate overnight resting, but I'll tell you a principle that was given to me by Holy Spirit. He says, Teaa, resting is not just sleeping, but it is trusting me to do what I said I would do.
Wait.
We can sit with it.
Wait just a second. For somebody that struggles with that, I think, because I'm speaking to myself, and I love how the Holy Spirit just be like, boom, boom, right? But go on ahead and say that one more time.
Here we go for the people in the front and the back.
And the back.
Resting is not just sleeping. It is trusting God to do what he said he is going to do. Resting our body is a thing. Resting our mind is a thing. But also resting your worry. Literally laying it down. Saying, God, I trust you. So I'm not only going to rest because of you, but I'm going to rest in you. You said this. I trust you. Even if you didn't say it directly to me, you said it in your word. Even if you didn't say it directly to me, you said it through Lacreita's life. We could use that, right? I saw you do this. I've experienced you do this. Hey, I'm even the evidence of this, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we're looking for the evidence of God in other things and other people when we are evidence.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's trusting him to do what he said he's going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girl, you got me over here.
Yeah. You can trust him.
I think for me, because I'm so focused on, I gotta, build this legacy. I gotta make sure my entire family is good. It's hard to rest at times. I'm getting better.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, I struggle with that even as a woman.
Yeah.
And can I be honest, as a Black woman?
Yeah, that's what we do here.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things that I see and I deal with just within the real estate industry, right? If I have to be honest.
Yeah.
And I see people, getting things. Now, I am a firm believer in what God has for you. God,
For sure.
it's yours,
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Whatever God has for you is for you.
I agree.
So I'm never wanting anything that somebody else got.
Yeah.
But I'm like, God, I just did that same thing and this just happened for them.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely,
help me understand. Am I going in the right direction? But what God has been showing me is that I have to continue to show up.
Yes.
While giving myself grace, while still taking care of myself and resting, but knowing that at the end of the day, I am representation for another young girl that needs to see me do it.
Yes.
Because I truly believe that we are all given gifts. We're all supposed to be on this earth for a specific reason or reasons, right?
Yeah.
And me doing what I'm supposed to do, being obedient to God, is tied to somebody else.
Yeah, for sure.
Being blessed or coming out of or making it to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, the work is hard. And there's times where I need to do a better job of resting.
Yeah.
But the reality is it's hard for me to because I just want to help everybody. I want to do so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's a struggle. And I'm always trying not to ever, how can I say this? To ever not trust him, I guess.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm just like, I just know that there's so much more that I could be doing, but I know I also have to be able to rest, because if I don't, then I'm not going to be able to do the things that he has called me to do. 100%. I kind of went 100 different ways on that.
No, I love it. This is real good, Cree. Like, because it's real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are things that women deal with, that we deal with. You know, we want to do it, or we want to be it all sometimes. You know, but I think, and this, to me, I think another ingredient of an impactful woman is a woman who knows her identity. And I think a part of identity is knowing why you're here, right? We're called to be human beings, not doings. Now, as a part of our purpose and plan, there are things we have to do and be about business while we're on this earth, right? But at the same time, what I think is really important, and this is something that I continue to work through, but the Lord has worked with me on, is when I take off the hats, who am I? Because that's truly who you are.
Yeah.
Right? Notice when we've talked about the impact and ingredients of a woman, we've not mentioned anything that someone does, but who they are. And to me, that speaks to identity.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm not a mother, if I'm not a wife, if I'm not a business owner, if I'm not someone working for someone in business, if I'm not these things, right? Who am I? I am resilient. I am a strategist, whatever that is, right? Who am I? And I think for me, that has helped me, and it helps me when I have to remind myself in these moments where I'm trying to do too much. It reminds me, like, hey, even if you don't do this, you're still enough.
Yeah.
Because really the truth is, if we get to the root, because sometimes we're talking about fruit matters, but we got to get to root matters.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, why do I feel the need to do it all for my family? Why do I want to make sure that on my back they're good? You get what I mean? And I'm not saying the answers will end up being not favorable. I'm just saying we need to ask them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes in asking them, we're like, wait, that's is actually a lie.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't, that ain't my job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, hold up, wait a minute, you know? Yeah. And sometimes it is, though, our job, and it is what we're called to, and we are planted for such a time as this.
Yeah.
And it is difficult, right? But we're not having to do it alone, and we certainly don't have to do it alone.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think it's just wise to go back for me to the Father and say, hey, is this my job?
Yeah. Am I supposed to be
the one of my cousins? Because let me know.
No, you picked me.
You me? Who, me? Or, okay, for real, me this time? All right, bet.
Yeah.
See you in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I clock in tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But sometimes he comes back and he's like, no, actually, I don't need you doing that. I remember it was my first encounter of realizing I was dealing with anxiety. It was back in 2014 too. 2014
was a year.
You hear me?
Yeah.
It was a year that I remember, and I had a couple of family members who in their own, life were dealing with some stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember the Lord speaking to me one day. He said, Teaa, if you are their God, when do they come to me? I was like, first of all, who you talking to like that?
Come on.
I was like, okay.
That's how God talk to you.
You
Everybody
hear
got
me?
their way.
Listen. He be like,
hey, listen.
I literally felt his finger on my lip.
Yeah.
Like, be quiet. Shh. Like, hey, stop talking. For real. Stop talking. Like, dang, well, she needs to, whatever. But he did. And I love it because this is something that I love about our Father. And this should be an example, I believe, of people in our lives, but men specifically. That even in correction, you walk away knowing you're loved. So nonetheless, he said it to me, but he also said this: I know you're not trying to be their God, but if you're there every time they need something, whatever the somethings are, when do they come to me? And he said, if you trust me to work all things together for good in your life, then you got to trust me to do it in theirs. And what he was communicating to me on a whole nother level was, they're going to have to do a little struggling. Yeah. You're going to have to let them, that's going to have to happen. Yeah. Because I'm doing something in that. Didn't cause it, but I'm using it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think about that with us, with women. It's like, okay, God, you have called us to do hard things, and we can do hard things. Yeah. But we're not doing them by ourselves, Cree. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whether it's with him or whether it's with a network or with sisters like you and I. Yeah. Being able to collab. I love the imagery that I have for us. Because y'all, can we just tell y'all what's really happening here? I have the Tea with Tia podcast. Some of you are watching it on this platform. She has the Real Room podcast. Some of you are watching this episode on that platform. But the imagery that I got, and we're simultaneously recording. Yes. And what I saw was two women in their own lane on the same highway, beautifully merging together. That's what's just happened. We're not competing. We're not comparing. We're collaborating. That part. And that's another ingredient of an impactful woman. One who knows, hey, when I show up and she shows up as well, neither one of us are diminished in this space. At all. If anything, we're better together. Yeah. We're going to go further faster. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We can occupy this space and we can do it both being in the same space and do it well. And do it well. Yeah. And our not only us, but our audiences get a 2-for-1. Yeah. And so I think about that when it comes to doing all the things. It's like, hey, Lord, who can I partner with? Because I'm certain that I'm supposed to be doing it, but likely not alone. Sometimes that relieves some of that stress. Yeah. Or allows us to rest. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah. That was a lot. But that's what no, you're good. So you brought up, just understanding, just tapping in, having conversation with God, right? Mm-hmm. For me, it's every day I'm like, okay, Lord, what are we doing today? Yeah, for sure. What is your will, right? Yeah. And so what does that look like for you? What is your kind of routine as a woman, getting up, getting ready for the day? What does that look like for you? What it does not look like is getting on my phone first thing in the morning. Come on. And so how my day starts matters. And so I start my day in some form of thanksgiving. Yeah. Right. So I literally wake up and like, Lord, thank you for today, And what I've had to be mindful of is to be intentional about not just mundanely saying these Thanksgivings, but actually meaning them. Today, as I was showering, I said, Lord, thank you for a hot shower. Like, it was so relaxing. I changed one of the functions and it was giving massage. I said, girl, you got to go. But Thanksgiving. So I wake up with Thanksgiving. Lord, thank you for waking me up this morning. And it's kind of funneled as I'm moving. Like, oh, Lord, thank you that my feet can touch the ground. Thank you that I got some feet, but Thanksgiving. And then I go into prayer. And for me personally, that's starting with praying in my heavenly language. Yeah. Praying the Lord's will, praying, Lord, I don't know. So, and then he'll begin giving me words that I need to begin saying, but Thanksgiving and praying, and then worship music. I got my music going as I'm moving about. Yeah. And some mornings look different, right? Some mornings I can dedicate 30 minutes to an hour to this only, but some mornings I need to get up and get moving, but it's still incorporated. Because I'm telling you, how your day starts, it matters, Cree. Like it is giving you the trajectory of your day. You know what I mean? And so for me, that's what it looks like. And I keep my phone on D&D till about 8:30. Okay. I turn it off if I need to earlier because I know I got to tap in earlier. But if not, because that helps me not even be tempted to look into the chimes and the pings and all the things. Yeah. And then when it's time to tap in, I tap in. But yeah, for me, I'm intentional to wake up with Thanksgiving, with prayer, some worship music. I may turn on a podcast that like feeds my soul. And so I think that's a way to kind of group it all together. I wake up doing things and allowing my ear gates and eye gates to take in and absorb what's feeding my spirit, what's feeding my soul, what's feeding Teaa.
Yeah.
Because what's in you comes out of you when you're squeezed.
That part.
And so if the good stuff ain't coming in me, now I'm about to go try to lead a day.
Yeah.
Lead people.
Yeah.
Lead myself.
Yeah.
All the things. But if I didn't put the right things in, so now I might be grumpy. I might be agitated. I might be impatient. And I'm not saying some of that doesn't come even with this still.
Yeah.
But it definitely lessens it, if not for real spill, like,
yeah,
causes it to not be, you know? So that's how my days start most days. Some days it don't. And so sometimes I might get up and I hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And so this is just real. So sometimes I find myself having to pause. It could be in my office. It could be in my car. It could be on aisle 4 at the grocery store. Okay. Crest on Coville.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, I gotta reset.
Yeah.
Because I'm not being the best version of me.
Yeah.
Not perfect to me. Right? I believe there's a thing called excellence.
Yeah.
I believe there's something called perfection. I'm not trying to be perfect. But I do want to be the best me, which to me, that speaks to excellency.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to reset.
Yeah.
Like you being grouchy.
Yeah.
Apologize.
Yeah.
Yep. And let's reset.
Let's reset it. Yeah. No,
what about you? What's your mornings look like?
Typically I am waking up in the morning. First thing is I touch my husband and I just say thank you.
Yes. Lord, do it for me.
Yeah.
Lord, do it for me. I'm touching and agreeing.
Touching and agreeing. Okay. And then I'll pray over him. I'll thank God just for, just another day. And then I literally, okay, Lord, what are we doing today?
Yeah, for sure.
What is it that you want me to do?
Yeah.
And then from there, it's just getting ready. And then when I get in the car, it's gospel music. Because that's, for whatever reason, that's me and God's love language, baby. I can't sing.
Yeah.
But baby, you would think I could.
But wait, you wanted to be a singer.
I did.
You want to be like Milli Vanilli?
Like
okay.
I wanted to
BGVs.
Listen, I was up in that choir, like thought I was
like, thank God for all the other altos around
baby. Okay. Oh, listen. I sound amazing in the choir, in the shower.
Most people
in the
do.
shower, I sound great.
Most people do.
But that's just us. That's my love language to him. Like I feel like that's how I connect and I hear him better.
Yeah.
And then similar to you, like I'll listen to like a book or something like that. I love Tabitha Brown's Feed Your Soul book. Like I will replay that all over again. But that's really how my day kind of starts is just going to him first. Now I'm gonna be honest, okay?
Yeah.
There's some mornings where my phone gets in my hand before I've gone through all of my stuff because just the business that I'm in, but I try to be intentional every morning on doing the same thing every day.
Yeah.
So
something else that helps me that I do probably 4 to 5 times a week is journaling and reading my word. Reading my word every day, but I'm saying the journaling aspect of it.
Listen, I need to get you my devotional journal.
Okay.
That's what I need to get you.
I want that.
There is a devotional journal out there. It is called a Untitled Devotional.
So you've been holding out on me. A
little
little bit. Yeah.
It's self-published on Amazon, paperback, $15. Okay.
I know that's right. Did y'all catch that? Rewind if you need to. Get all the info. So I would say another ingredient of an impactful woman is a woman of prayer. Wherever you are in your prayer life, right?
Yeah.
Praying is just simply speaking to the Lord. So wherever you are, it's not about, I pray 18 hours in tongues or, I only pray 2 minutes today. Like, hey, I think it's about, again, intentionality.
Yep.
So we're getting ready to wrap up soon, but we got to talk about, I think, some impactful women in our lives. You know what I'm saying? We talked about some ingredients of an impactful woman, but it's likely we're able to point those out because we've seen it, right? So you first. Who are some...
Listen, let me not forget. Okay. I probably needed to write it down.
Please know, this list is not all-encompassing, okay? Listen, I don't even know if we need to be saying names.
If I forget you, you know I love you.
Okay? We love you. I love you. Yeah.
Of course, my mom.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I've watched her be an amazing woman. My parents had me at 16 and 17. And so to watch just her growth as just a young mother, woman, going to school, working full time, taking care of us, hair done, clothes was sharp all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but I watched her on her knees praying. for my father.
Yeah.
And him being able to come to church with his family, like that spoke volumes to me.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to protect my husband in that way, right? And so my mother is just a woman of resilience.
Yeah.
She's amazing. I love her to death.
Yeah.
My sister, crazy enough.
Yeah.
You know, that's my best friend.
Yeah.
Like, she get on my nerves.
Yes.
But that's
it's
my
a
best
sister
friend.
thing.
Yeah, it's a sister thing.
Yeah.
And I can go on and on. My grandparents, my grandmothers, Irma Eddington, Mary Smith, and then my aunts, Aunt Sherry, Aunt Rochelle, Aunt Pat, Aunt Tanya. But I would definitely, my Aunt Shuri.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
That woman, like, just grace. Like, I grew up saying that's who I want to be.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, that's
Talk
the
about
one.
impactful.
Woo. Like, that's the woman, just how she carries herself, how she play basketball. I mean, like, she was this tough, like, won championships at OCU.
Because really quickly, if y'all don't know, this is a athlete, all state, all champion. You know what I mean?
Listen,
killing it on the court.
Don't ask me to go back and try to play
killing
basketball
it on
now,
the court.
But,
you know what I mean?
I'm glad somebody, because people, I think they forget.
I had to tell a couple of students not too long ago, like, y'all, because we were playing. They were like, Miss Tia, your girl played ball. Okay, now I know I'm looking like I done ate a couple balls now, but
I cannot with you. Okay. But just my Aunt Cherie, like, just to watch her on the court, and then
hold on, pause. I love myself. That wasn't
she
some
does.
Kind of,
she does. She's just playing.
Jokes,
okay. But it's good to be able to laugh at yourself, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And so just seeing her be able to go on the court, do what she do, and then turn around, baby, she would have the fedora hats and just be dressed to the T.
Yeah.
And I would be like, okay, that's my auntie.
Yeah.
Like,
that's me.
That's me.
Yeah.
And crazy enough, I have her middle name.
Okay.
My youngest daughter has her middle name.
Okay.
Like, it's just carried on. But she's who I aspired to be as I grew up.
I love that.
So, and all the other women, like, there was bits and pieces of them all, and you mix that, all those ingredients of what you loved about them into one. That's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yep.
So, what about you?
I love that you get to experience that.
Yeah. Who are some impactful women in your life?
Wow. Okay, let's start from childhood. No, obviously.
Yeah. No, come
on. First, for me, for real, my mom, and for me, I'm saying that because my mom is my foundation, right? Or she helped build the foundation of who Tia is today, along with my father. But my mother, her grace, her resilience, her meekness. Now, that's a strength under control type woman, man. But also my mother's selflessness. Like, I've just seen that all my life. You know what I mean? And she's so jazzy, so graceful.
She is. Every time I've seen her, it's just
my gosh, so
like,
petite. Yeah. And I tell people, I'm like, my mom reminds me, if you know Jackie Onassis Kennedy, like something about her presence. Like, she's not saying much, but when she shows up, beautiful, dainty, but that's, don't play with her.
Yeah.
So my mother's a triplet. And so you didn't know
I thought they were twins.
No, so it's three of them. Two of them are identical. One is fraternal. My grandmother thought she was having twins until she pushed out the second, and the doctor said, Miss ma'am,
there's another one.
Yeah, it's one more back here. So one was in a whole nother sack. So that's why. So sometimes people will text me like, I think I see your mama or maybe your auntie. I see somebody. I'm like, just speak. But nonetheless, and so I affectionately call them, plus I have another aunt that was the baby right before them, so I call them the quadruplets. But my auntie mamas, because they've raised me as well. They've been a part of my rearing. Both of my grandmothers, for sure, impactful. I would say my paternal grandmother taught me how to bake, and I remember during the summer times we would make sun tea. If y'all don't know what that is,
what is that?
It's when you take all the ingredients for the tea and put it in like a glass vessel and put it on the porch, and the heat of the sun is what steeps it, if you will. So all day long. And so that grandmother taught me patience, for real. Like, I didn't realize this until I got older.
Yeah.
But with baking, with the sun tea, love and the embrace of a grandmother, my maternal grandmother, oh my goodness, the most wittiest woman ever. Very poised. very a strong woman, very family oriented. She raised 11 children. You know what I mean? That's my mom's mother. And so I would say my grandmothers, you know, I've had over the years a spiritual mother, who I affectionately call Auntie Thelma. And in a season, God used her to grow me up, be a mother to me in the spirit. You know what I mean? To help me walk me through the spiritual things of life, you know, how to pray, just all kind of stuff, but spiritual. I have some mentors, you know what I mean, who have helped me along the way. I remember one day I said, Lord, I need 3 women in my life. I'm like, I need someone, because at the time I had just experienced a divorce, right? Side note to the women out there, you are not what you've gone through. And so I experienced a divorce, right? I am not divorced. I'm Teaa. I know people might be like, oh, that's too deep. Okay. Words matter. So whatever. But I said, Lord, I need 3 women. I said, I need a woman who loves you, who is in ministry, who is married, but knows the value of her home life. Because for me, that's who I want it to be, if you will. You know, I'm a woman in ministry, obviously, but I know the value of being a wife. That's ministry too. But I also know that I'm called to the marketplace. So I'm like, Lord, I need an example of that. He gave me that. I said, Lord, I need someone who's on, like, when I was going to say my level, so it's not my level, but the level that I am on, right? My age, but still lives for you, but and loves you, but has fun. You know what I mean? Like, I need to see, because sometimes it's hard out here in these streets. Like, I'm not the only one. Like, dang, you know? He gave me that, you know? And then I said, Lord, I need a mentor who's going where I want to go. And he gave me that. So yeah, those are some quick ones. But yeah, my friends, I have some impactful friends. You know what I mean? And the impact has been different in different seasons and on different levels. But quality has never really been an issue, or quantity hasn't. But there's always been quality. You know what I mean? So yeah,
you definitely have some amazing friends. Like, thank you. Again, we share some of them. And so I'm just like blessed. But one thing I got out of that is you were specific with your prayer. And you believed that he would, and he did. He gave you everything that you asked for.
All facts. 100%.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't, when it comes to the friend side of things, I don't feel like I've quite grasped, you know, being the best of a friend, just because I've always been kind of like to myself, in a sense, and have a lot of males in my family. And so I kind of gravitated to that. But I'm getting better. I'm definitely getting better. And that is something that I desire to have, you know, just that closeness. Now I have some great best friends.
Yes,
don't get me wrong.
I know
it's
them.
About 2.
I know them both. Agree.
But for the most part, it's people like you that have impacted people. Like, you know, I can go on and on. But I just thank you. I thank you for just being the woman of God that you are, and just being so amazing. Not just to me, but I get to see you from afar, be it to so many other people.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. May I encourage you with something real quick?
Yes.
You just made a statement. You said, and I'm paraphrasing, but you are working on, I believe you said, being the best friend or being a certain type of best friend. And I just want to encourage you to sit down. We don't have to necessarily get into this right now. But sit down and write out, what is a best friend to me? Like, what do I think that is? What does that encompass or embody? And then next to that, write out, who is Lacreita? Because you may find out you are what you're wanting to be.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, you're right. We're not going to get into it, but
you may already be that.
I may already be that. You're right. You're right. I think because I be trying to.
You may already be as you're becoming, right? And then, you know, if you want, at least with the 2, get vulnerable and ask them, what kind of friend have I been to you? I think that's important. I think that's important as women. I think that's important as people to have these kind of conversations with people. How can I serve you better? Hey, you know, have I been a good friend? Am I a good sister? I text my siblings sometimes, like, how can I be a better sister to you all? And not always is it like, be better. It's just like, you're good. But again, I think if we're going to be in the business of serving people in whatever capacity that is, we got to get the input of the people. But you got to know how to deal with that input. So if you ain't ready, don't do that.
That part.
But yeah, nonetheless, I want you to write out what is a best friend, or what are some qualities that I see as beautiful in a best friend, and then write out what are some qualities of Lacreita. And you may be like, wait, like the projects in school, like A go to D. Wait, hold
Okay,
on.
match that.
I got that.
Listen, we got homework.
Yeah, we got homework. Hilarious. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this has been beautiful. Thank you for joining me today.
Yes.
Talking about the ingredients of an impactful woman. You are an impactful woman, and I appreciate the impact you've had on my life.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the same. I already told you, but I see you.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I thank you for being all that you have been to me.
Yeah.
It has helped me in so many ways, and I look forward to what God is going to do through us.
Yes.
Will continue to do through us. Let me say that.
100%. It's a journey.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on.
Creed, thank you. Yeah, this has been a really, it's been a great episode.
Yes.
It's one that I'm excited to go back and watch. And prayerfully our viewers will get a lot out of this one. You know what I mean? So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, love you. Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in to today's Tea with Teaa podcast episode, The Ingredients of an Impactful Woman. I want to leave you with this this piece of transformation, encouragement, or potentially application, that you are an impactful woman. And I'll say to you the same thing that we even discussed today. As you think about an impactful woman and maybe who you want to become, do two things for me. Sit down and write out what's an impactful woman to you. And then sit down next to that and write out who are you. And you may see that you are the impactful woman that you look up to. And then take some time to say thank you. Reach out to the impactful women in your life, whether that's a text, an email, taking them a bite, out to coffee. I don't know, whatever that looks like. But just say thank you. Thank you for being an impactful woman in my life. And know this, no matter where you are, you will have an impact, and your impact matters. All right. See you next time on the Tea with Teaa podcast. Love you. Peace.